Welcome everybody to Friday Nights in Joy, a monthly conversation series hosted by the Tai Chi Chih Association. We are joined by a wonderful guest this evening. Why don't you take a moment and introduce yourself?
I'm Carmen Brocklehurst. I'm an accredited Tai Chi Chih teacher and have been with the center since the center began.
Which was, what year was that, roughly?
1995. 95.
Wow. So we're hitting our 30th anniversary.
Right.
That's incredible.
Right. Justin had a wonderful vision, and it was amazing how you know when somebody has a vision and then you walk in and you go, yeah, this is right.
Yeah. Well, tonight's episode, dedicated to all things Tai Chi Chih, is specifically oriented around one of the Tai Chi Chih principles, circularity. So I wanted to just open it up for you, Carmen, if you wanted to say anything that comes to you that you feel you want to share about circularity to start us off.
Well, circularity is such a big subject.
Yeah.
And you know, people just say, well, you know, it's round, and I'm going, yes, but what in the world does that have to do with Tai Chi Chih? And why do we have so many of our movements, in fact, all of them, that have circularity to them? And the circularity, you know, when we talked about doing this, all of a sudden this wealth of information kept coming through. I said, oh yeah, and that's right. Yes, and oh, and that's right. So Tai Chi Chih is beautiful in that it prepares us for what circularity has to offer, especially knowing that it does away with the idea of there's only one way, and it also does away with the idea that if you the one way that things happen, because circularity really takes you around, and Justin was always talking about that. Everything is around. He says the earth goes around the sun, and you know, and he talked about things like that, so that we would get into the feel of that circularity. But you can feel it when as you're doing the Tai Chi Chih movements. There's always this curve that's going on. There's always this curve that's going on, and it's an endless curve, and yet we come into it and we move away from it. But the thing about it is we're still a part of it. We'll always be a part of that circularity that goes on. We're born and we pass away, and we're born, we pass away, kind of thing. And essentially, so we come to conclusions like, oh, so it's forever, and it's timeless. And the minute that you get into it, and it's timeless, now you're talking about another whole level that Tai Chi Chih invites you to be part of.
Yeah. Beautiful. I'm going to read a quotation from Professor Wen-Shan Huang, who was Justin Stone's great friend and author of Fundamentals of Tai Chi Chuan. But Justin chose this quotation, and it's as a very important element to sort of keep talking in the direction that you've just shared so beautifully, Carmen. In the universe, there is an ever-active, ever creative life and an inexhaustible source of life energy, which is made available to humankind when a fitting stage of development is reached. It is particularly significant that it has a great reverence for life. And then Justin went on to say, so we discern a spiritual basis for this great chi energy, which is not ours alone, but belongs to the cosmos. And I think you were getting at that when you went to we manifest it individually when we do the necessary disciplines like Tai Chi Chih to develop and focus this great power. And then Professor Huang continues, Tai Chi, supreme ultimate, is originally circular in shape, and it is the combined entity of the yin-yang principles. This circularity is the reason why in all Tai Chi disciplines we move in a circular manner in order to activate this energy. A windmill follows the same principle. I'm going to show a yin-yang symbol just so people can take a look at that and see, if you're a Tai Chi Chih practitioner, if you can see the movements contained within this Tai Chi. This is the great Tai Chi. This is the supreme ultimate symbol, the Tao, the symbol of the Tao. Is there anything in there, Carmen, that you want to elaborate on?
I loved it as I was thinking about what was there to say about circularity. My goodness,
Yeah.
we could talk for a long time. All cultures use the circle in different ways. One of my favorites is the hoop dance that is done by the Native Americans, and when they're doing that hoop dance, you see them. All of a sudden, there's no hoops, but there's hoops, but they're in them, but they're out of them. And it's constantly going on. It's like when we're doing Tai Chi Chih. You know, you come to the end of a movement and everybody thinks that something's gone away, but it hasn't gone away. You've moved into a new level of what that is. And with each movement that we do, we go a little bit deeper and a little bit deeper. And each time we're more relaxed and we're more at home. So by the time that we're finished, it's kind of like, wasn't that wonderful? Oh, is it really time for it to stop? We're not ready. And that's because of this eternalness of the circle. And that circle is constantly reminding us of beautiful things in life. It's said so elegantly and eloquently here by both Justin and Professor Wen-Shan Wang. There it is, the circle of it, and until a person gets the idea of that circularity of life, it's almost like running and then you stop. Then you're running, it's kind of like the Alice in Wonderland rabbit that said, you run and then you hop, hop, hop. If only I could fly. The thing about it is that roundness of life, as we become more and more aware of that roundness and what it actually means, you say, oh, eventually you come to say to yourself, oh, then it never stops. So if you're in the mindset, oh, well, you only go so far and you only do so much, then you don't get the fullness of that circle, that fullness of life that the circle teaches us. And we're always invited into that circle.
That's beautiful. Carmen, what would you say would be a good, I don't know if attitude is the right word, but for someone just starting their Tai Chi Chih practice? I mean, literally, they know Tai Chi Chih already. They're getting ready to start their practice for the day. What would be a good way for them to connect more with what you're sharing is available to us?
Oh, wow. The idea that it's not that life isn't a series of jerks, starts and stops, that it's continuous, that what happens in this part of the circle either will be repeated or will grow in another part of the circle.
Yeah.
And people don't think about that. They just, I'm got to do this, got to finish this. That does a lot to the way that we see life.
Yeah.
You know, when you see it stop, and then it's kind of like you miss the song. There's a song that's going on the whole time, and it's continuous. And one of the lovely things that happens as we do our Tai Chi Chih is we actually move into that. Not, well, once you get the idea, okay, yes, we're going around this circle, and there it is again. And each time that you get close to yourself, it's coming home.
Yeah.
I'm a part of this.
Yeah.
We all are part of this. I once had the interesting knowing that belonging that we feel as we do Tai Chi Chih and Seijaku, that beautiful happening of belonging then takes care of the idea of, well, I don't belong, or do I belong? All of a sudden we really know that we do belong. And what's the first thing that happens to us when we know that? We have a sense of freedom and a new opening, and then the possibilities are millions and millions of possibilities, and that they're all good. And that they're all good, or they can be good. You know, there's other people who have no idea of this eternality of life moving through us, and that we're not just spectators of this, but that this really is opening us to the possibilities available to us, which are great.
Much more than spectators.
Much
actively more. Engaged.
Exactly.
And even coming to know that is a gift.
Oh my goodness, yes. It's a huge gift. It's kind of like we want to belong, but you know, well, what's my part in it? Do I just have a little part in it? And when you find out that it's not just a little part that we have, that it's our gift to unfold that. And the more that we unfold that, then life has really interesting possibilities for us.
That's right. That's right. I'm going to read us. This, I think, speaks to what Justin was saying, or what you were saying about life becoming more round. And Justin he spent time in Kyoto, Japan, and this is a quote that he said, "I found 2 papers I had scribbled a long time ago saying," this is the first one, "the soft Kyoto sky will blunt the sharp edges." And then the second one, "Though I have been unable to detect a purpose to this life, I have enjoyed the quiet of the trees and the sunlight on the water, Should I be fated to return, I would like to work to still the hatred in people's hearts, the preaching of no words, the brilliance of no color.
So when you think of the constant evolving of the circle, of the connection, when we have that, then something very special happens. You know, we have love in our hearts. Like he says, he wants to, you know, have this communion with the trees, communion with the earth around him, and boy, he sure did.
Yeah.
I mean, so, you know, we think, oh, my job is to build this house and have this family and go to this job. But is that really what we're here for? Or are we here to know that connection between all things, and that it's that circle, it's that roundness that gets us there? You say, well, but how does it happen? Well, think about it. Okay, so you start at the top maybe, and you go all the way around, and you go, well, will I ever experience this again? Well, when you come to the other side and you come up and you connect again, you find that you have all of that you experienced before, but now you have it in a new way, in a greater way. And you know that you're not the only one that's having it, that this connection is going on between everything. The mountains, the air, the clouds. Watching the clouds move in a circle is just really amazing. And that each one is sharing. So what do we want to share? What do you want to share? You know, that's one of the beauties that comes from the Tai Chi Chih practice. It's learning what it is that you have within you, and then sharing that with everybody.
Beautiful. I want to share one of the things, Justin's references to what you just said. He said, think of time as a circle, not as a line from here to there. If we miss the brass ring, the first swing around, we'll get other chances to capture it.
You know, I remember the first time that I heard him say that. He says, it's like going around on a merry-go-round and you go for that brass ring, right? And I said, oh, so if I make a mistake, it's not the end of the world kind of thing. You know, we have many opportunities to, if you want to think of it, I don't like to think of it as getting it right.
No.
But of being included.
And knowing that we're included. When we make mistakes, it's usually because I have forgotten that I'm believing that I'm separate.
That's right.
And so when I'm getting a chance to do it again and I'm now connected differently, then I have a chance to flow through that sense of connection rather than I'm Amy over here separate and whatever.
Oh, and boy, I tell you, that's the hardest thing for us to let go of. And that is, I'm separate, I'm over here, all by myself. No, nobody knows. But that's not the truth of it. The more that we think in terms of the circle, then beautiful things start to happen. We're included in ways that we never would have dreamed was possible. And we learn that we have special gifts, our own special gifts, that we're bringing to this connection. You know, what is in the connection? Every time that I see these wonderful pictures of space. You know, they're also brilliantly, amazingly beautiful. And I say, and that's us.
Yeah.
And that's us. And that we don't know that. That, as some people say, oh, I'm just the worm of the dust. Oh my gosh, no. And so just doing the simple, you know, around the platter bass drum as we do Tai Chi Chih, the letting go, the softening of ourselves. Every time that we allow ourselves to participate, we soften.
Yes.
And then you see people get that look in their eye like, I really do belong. Yeah. Because that's probably one of the hardest things for us to let go of, is that we're separate.
Yeah.
That we're separate. And that's not where it's at.
Yeah.
There is so much beauty in the connection. And it's not, well, only I can do this. I'm saying, no, that's not true. I remember one time a friend of mine who is, well, he's a scientist, and I was saying, I just love what I feel when I do Tai Chi Chih. All these differences are coming together, and they're harmonized. I don't have to harmonize them.
Yeah.
They are already harmonized. Yeah. And that is so beautiful. And I said, it's like this one part, you think that it's separate, but when it interacts with something else, that there's a coming together, a knowing, like you've always known this. And why in the world do we forget? How did we forget? And then simple movements going on. And in that moment, like when Daughter in the Valley, when it comes up, you know, it's the two are knowing each other again.
Yes.
And the joy of that.
Yes.
To know each other again. Yeah. And there's just such a fullness and such a acceptance. Such an acceptance. And I mean, I think of little babies, and their, you know, when their mother or their father or somebody who loves them picks them up, that feeling of acceptance, that what I came to do is to know that wholeness, that fullness of life, and that it's with me constantly. That I'm not separate from it.
Yeah. And we don't have to think our way through it.
No.
With Tai Chi Chih, the gift, one of the beautiful gifts, one of the many gifts, is that we just experience it. And that knowing, not the intellectual knowing, but the knowing comes to us in every cell of our being, you know. And we don't have to try hard.
No.
Which is another gift of it, you know. It's the antithesis of that, really.
Well, and that's so important, because we're always trying so hard.
Storm the gates of heaven.
Right. One of these days I'll get it right, kind of thing. But I love that part out, that during the practice we're reminded, during our daily practice, we're reminded of how connected we are, and what that means to the other one, to the other person. Again, with the baby that's just being held, have you ever seen a little baby? They come to that, and all of a sudden they get that look in their eye like, oh, you and I are connected.
That's right. That's right.
And this is totally wordless.
Yes.
You know, we don't have to, you know, go on and on. You know, you see an older couple walking through a park and holding hands. They've come to feel the inside of that circle, the connection that has been made over many, 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 many years. And that, and like it, when he leaves, when she leaves, it doesn't go away. All of that is still moving through time, through space. And time, but time and space are not limiting or halting or keeping us what, locked up. And that, instead, what it's done is it opens us to know all the possibilities. I just love all the things that Tai Chi Chih reveals to us, because there are so many, but especially, I thought it was this way, but it's not limited to that.
It just keeps going. It just, you have a little moment, you're like, oh, that's it. And then, a few months later, no, that wasn't it. It's more, there's more,
There's more to it.
There's more, and there's also less, like it's this dissolving and expanding. I wanted to read this one, Carmen. Within this emptiness, says Justin, is a circle, and within the circle are the mountains and the lakes. There is nothing empty about emptiness. So when we, that boundaryless, there's, this vastness, and yet it's filled with all of life.
That's right. There are people who have experienced this vastness, but they're so used to being in a small space. But the vastness is full of everything that frees us to be our true selves. To be our true selves. And I can't say enough about that. And what did you feel when you did this? How were you connected? Were you connected? Did it feel good? The little baby, you don't even have to ask them. Doing, they go to sleep. This is a great place. I don't have to worry about anything. I'm just totally here and loved. And that was one of the big revelations that I had when we're always loved, but we don't realize that we're always loved. That it seems like a simple thing. Somebody said, well, I know that my husband loves me, or I know that my children love me, or that they love me at work because I'm, giving them my heart and soul. But what about that they just love? They don't have, there is nothing stopping them from that love. That circle is constantly going out to them, back into me, out to them, back into me, and that it's continual. So would you say it's a good thing to learn to do Tai Chi Chih? I think it'd be a wonderful, wonderful thing to do.
So this is a public service announcement. Learn Tai Chi Chih.
Right.
It's beautiful.
Right.
It's beautiful. I'm just looking at all the possibilities.
Well, one of the things that you have on here is the circulation of the chi. It's not something that's static, boom, and you're encased in it. It is flowing. It's constantly flowing, and it's constantly new. And it's like, how did the masters create the music? They said it just flowed through. The muses are not bound by your opinions and your small way of being. actually the circle may start out very, very small, but the growing of it has to do with the light that is encompassed inside of us. And the more that the light is encompassed, the more we know, and they know, and there stops being a me, us and them. And the sooner that stops, the better off we are.
Yeah. Thank you to Carmela, we want to shout out to Carmela, and Guy is also here cheering us on in the background. What time is it, Guy?
6:29.
6:29. Do you think I should end with this one?
Please.
Okay, let's end with this one. This is really kind of foundational to the balancing of the Qi that we're working with in Tai Chi Chih and Tai Chi. The circulation of the Qi and the balancing of the yin and yang are the primary goals of Tai Chi Chih. Wenshan Wang spoke of Qi a priori and Qi a posteriori, that is, the Qi with which we came into this life and that we accumulated and stored during this lifetime. This is not our Qi. We are a product of this Qi. In Chinese cosmology, from the ineffable Tao comes the yin Qi and the yang Qi, the beginning of dualism. This is before there is a heaven and earth or human. They are the product of the yin and yang Qi. To unite with this Qi and to balance it is to return to the uncarved block. And this is what is meant by centering. So we come to know ourselves as that center, undividedly. Tai Chi practice becomes meditation. Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carmen.
Thank
That
you.
was wonderful. Thank you, everybody who is watching, perhaps live, or will end up watching this on YouTube. We're so grateful to our Tai Chi Chih Association members and all the people that are learning Tai Chi Chih and teaching Tai Chi Chih. We know we have a jewel in what we're learning and have access to through Tai Chi Chih, as well as a jewel in all the teachers, which is what Justin used to call the teachers, that they are the jewel of Tai Chi Chih. So we thank you all and take care.
Thank you. Thank you.